Hey guys, you're getting a little bit of bonus material from me, I guess, this week. Ethan on Twitter asked me to respond to something through Tim's, which is just, I guess it's a meme. It's a Facebook thread, basically an argument between someone who believes in God and someone who doesn't, because of the lack of empirical evidence. And maybe what I'll do is if the people who are watching this haven't seen the meme, I'll post a link here, one of those cool YouTube links. I have to figure out how to do that. Ethan, my response. First of all, I think I should clarify this. I wouldn't consider myself either a Christian or like a God believing person or an atheist. In some ways, I'm just a really curious agnostic, where I don't know, um, but uh, I'm still kind of curious. And let me explain that. Maybe this will explain it. So first of all, person B, Ryo, I think was the name. Ryo, says that you can't believe in God because there is no empirical evidence. Very true. I'd actually side with him on that. Person A, the anonymous one, was not very good at backing up their thoughts, which is fine. I feel kind of bad for that person because it appears that Ryo almost was like picking on them in a snarky kind of way. But what that snark hides actually is another important point. Um, See, Ryo believes that his empirical or lack of empirical evidence proves the inexistence of God, um, but it doesn't. What it proves is that we don't know that there's a God. Um, my response to Ryo would be prove that there isn't a God. And similarly, you can't. You can't come up with the empirical evidence to support that. It's kind of the same as if I wanted to prove the existence of the spaghetti flying monster. I can't prove the existence of the flying spaghetti monster, nor can I prove the inexistence of the flying spaghetti monster. Um, there's just no way of going about that. It's so unknown to us. I don't know. Maybe you can try to respond. Maybe, which is what makes me agnostic in the fact that like I don't know if God exists or what if God doesn't exist. My interest in spirituality and in religion and in whether or not there's a God or not is looking at this, 2,000 year plus. I mean, if you're looking at the entire monotheistic Judeo-Christian kind of Abrahamic religion background, that dates forever ago. And this super old narrative, it's our attempt to explain something that is so foreign to us. But the fact that it has stood the test of time for so long, even though it might not be accurate, even though there might not be a God, there's still, I think, something to be learned from it. There's still something that we've observed, and we've tried to explain, using our conception of the world at that time, or our perception rather of the world at that time. And we haven't had the tools, the words to use it. But I mean, there's still some truth there. It's just hidden in narrative. And I guess in response to those who would want to throw out the entire narrative because it contains stories of a god that might be unliving or might be, responsible for genocide, might be responsible for all these horrible atrocities. I would say don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah, that's some pretty horrible stuff, and I wouldn't want to ever follow a god that would glorify these things. Um, but I'd like to point you to the story of Oedipus. Oedipus is something that is quoted all of the time, and it's because we have something to learn from that story. That's not to say that we should go around sleeping with our mothers and murdering our fathers. It's just it's a reference point. It's something for us to learn from, and it's something that we've been learning from for not as long as this narrative, but ever since the Greeks. So when we talk about God, we're talking about something else. And I don't know what that is. I mean, I've come to my own kind of conclusions about that, God is the sum of all that is and it's all consciousness and whatever. And but yeah, I guess that would be my response is good on Ryo for being like you need to back up your stuff before you claim something. This person, why don't people believe in God? Well, it's because it's really difficult to believe in God. We don't have the evidence, but at the same time, it's can be equally difficult to believe in the inexistence of God. And that's because the existence of God, or at least our conception of an existence of God, has been in our history for so long. It's difficult to give up on that, and there's something to be said for that, I guess. Thoughts?